Welcome to the next topic on how to process laser scanning data. So this particular one is to help you clean up errors within the point cloud. So data artifacts is the term that we use. So once you've put all of your scans together, you're going to open up a model space view in Navigator. So we open up the model space view and we come into our point cloud. So this one in particular is outdoors, so it's a little bit easier to be able to isolate people or isolate objects that we are seeing. So for example, we can see that in my point cloud, I have these random people or ghosts that are showing up that are right here. So if I want to be able to see them and delete them, I need to isolate them. So there's a couple different ways of doing this. I'm going to show you both ways just so you can see that there's one or the other. So I'm going to turn it top down because it's outdoors, so it's a little bit easier for me to work with doing this. I'm going to identify the area where these people are. And then I'm going to be using the polygonal fence again. So if I go up to a polygonal fence and I click on that, now I'm going to draw a fence around these people that had walked through my scan. Once I've created that area, I can right click on the screen. I can go to fence and I can, I'm going to go to point cloud subselection in this case before I get to fence. And I'm going to say add inside fence. So now we can see that that part of the point cloud has been highlighted. Then I can right click on the screen again and I can say point cloud subselection and say hide unselected clouds. So this is going to make everything else disappear except for my points here. Then I can use my hand and I can adjust my point cloud. I'm going to place my seek point right on the center here, and there are my people. So now I can actually delete these people. So I can try to line it up as best as I can along the ground. And again, you're not going to get this perfect because after you get rid of the major components of this person walking through, you'll have a little, maybe a couple points down below. That's okay because they're going to be just considered noise in any kind of modeling. So then I get to go back to polygonal fence mode. I can click on polygonal fence mode and I'm going to draw a fence around these people. And I'm not going to delete anything off of the ground, so you got to be really careful about that. And we can go along here because anything in this two-dimensional box that I am highlighting is going to get deleted. So if I had points showing behind it, those are also going to get deleted. So now that I've highlighted these people, I can right click and I can go down to fence and I can say delete inside fence. And then they're gone. Now if I want to refine it, I can try to find things such as these feet so I can see that. If I really want, I can make it even finer. So I can draw a fence around those spots there. Right click, point cloud subselection, add inside fence, right click, point cloud subselection, hides, oh no, I did that wrong. It's not supposed to be hide selected clouds because that's going to hide that part. So I'm going to go back up to view. I'm going to say show hidden clouds. So this is going to bring everything back. So now I'm going to switch back to my hand and I'm going to adjust it so that I can just see these in this. So just remember that we're going to still see shadow from that person walking through, and that's okay. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to try to, okay, so if you accidentally click somewhere, it's going to start with the fence doing that. You can right click and say fence and clear. And that clears the fence. So we're going to identify these pieces here. Right click, point cloud subselection, add inside fence. Right click, point cloud subselection, hide unselected clouds. Now I have this little piece here. Now I can delete those parts. So I'm going to clear it. And then So if you need to clear your point cloud, you just press the space bar and we draw a little fence around that. There we go. Right click, fence, delete inside fence. And I can do the same on the other parts over here. So let's have these little parts. No fence. Right click, fence, delete inside fence, and do the same here. Delete inside fence. And there we go. So now I can go back to view and I can say show hidden clouds, change to the hand, and those people are gone from my point cloud. There's nothing I can do about the shadowing. If you end up with shadowing like this, it's because you didn't do a setup that would actually fill that in. And so you would go through your entire point cloud and try to clear up these people. Now, some projects don't require you to do that because it is an insignificant component to the project. It doesn't matter. Where if it is an issue, then you would go through and actually clean them out. So that's how you do outside. And so if we need to do inside, that is a different situation. So I'm going to close this model space and I'm going to try to open an inside cloud. All right, so here's an inside cloud. So we can see that it is a big long hallway and we have some people in there. We may have people walking down the hallways just like this. So we've got a collection of that. The biggest challenge about inside is that I am dealing with 3 dimensions. So instead of having to worry about like deleting my point clouds, then I need to try to eliminate some of this point cloud so that I can actually work with it. So if you are working on the indoors and you know that your indoor is like a flat ground and people are not going to reach the roof, my suggestion is to cut off the roof. So try to draw it in the area that you're going to be working in. Right click, point cloud subselection, add inside fence, then right click, point cloud subselection, hide selected clouds in this case because that's the one that we want to hide. And then I'm going to change the way I'm viewing. And I'm still working on these people in that area. So now I want to just highlight this particular area. So I'm going to polygonal fence, draw an area like that, right click, point cloud subselection, add inside fence, right click, points cloud subselection, hide unselected clouds this time, and there we go. So now I move my hand and I can see that I've got this area. Now I still have walls. So the walls are still going to be an issue for me. So I need to try to remove those as best as I can so that I don't delete my walls. So if I bring it top down, try to make it a straight on, I can use polygonal fence and I'm going to try to hide my wall here by doing that. Right click, point cloud subselection, add inside fence. Oops. Let's clear the whole thing first, make sure that we've done that, and then I'm going to try that again. You should see it adjust so that it's only highlighting that one component. There we go. So it should look a little bit more obvious. If it's not looking obvious, then you haven't cleared the other cloud. Point cloud subselection, hide selected cloud. All right. So go back. We now have this black space behind. If we still find it really annoying, we can try to get rid of the rest of the walls. So for example, maybe this one I'll try to work with and get rid of that one as well. So I can highlight it like so. Right click, point cloud subselection, add inside fence, right click, point cloud subselection, hide selected clouds. Now we should have a clear view of the people. So now this is where you can decide what is important and what is not. So generally speaking, in the project, I recommend if somebody is sitting still, don't delete them. Because really they become a stationary object. If you have somebody who is sitting in their spot and moving around a lot, you can delete them. But if they're stationary, you can just leave them there. So I'm going to delete the people that are in the center of the hallway because those are the ones that are moving and those are the ones that I'm most concerned about. So I can use my polygonal fence again, making sure I don't get that chair in there. And there's my group. I can right click, fence, delete inside fence. And then there's my people all gone, except for maybe a few little pieces. Again, if you're wanting to be super perfect, you can go back and clear that up. Then once you are done cleaning up the people, you can go back to view and you can say show hidden clouds. And there is your clear hallway that you were working in this area. So that is how to clean up your point cloud. If you find that something is too big, that you don't need to work in that big area, like for example, I've got this outside stuff, I can easily create my polygonal fence and just choose the area that I want to work in. And I have stuff out here, like so. Right click, and then I can say, whoops, fence, delete outside fence. Those pieces are deleted and they won't come back, and now I have my hallway and it's limited to the boundary that I have set. So that is cleaning up your point cloud, making a boundary around it, making sure it's nice and clear. It is probably the most tedious part of the entire job if you do have to clean it up, because it is one of those points that you need to blink. Make sure you are blinking because it's very hard on the eyes. I like using the intensity images for this because I feel that it shows me the point cloud more clear. I'm not dealing with like projected images on top of each other and like people's faces being projected onto walls and those kinds of things. So I find the intensity a little bit easier to work with. I know it's bright, but it's just a little bit easier to see. So that's my suggestion for this, and so that is your summary on how to clean your point cloud.